All right, well, welcome to chapter 5 of the book of Lamentations. This is actually the final book or final chapter in Lamentations. It's only 5 chapters or 5 poems big. This poem is kind of like a poetic prayer that Jeremiah is going to give to talk about the how bad, the sorrowful condition, how bad things got with Zion, with the people in Jerusalem, basically. So some interesting things we get to learn in here. Verse 1, Oh, remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. Now, if we think about this for a second here, orphans and fatherless, they have no parents. Our mothers are as widows. So their dad is gone. Why is their dad gone? Because he went to fight the war and they lost. And so they are now widows and orphans. Women and children left, basically, during this destruction. Their inheritance is turned to strangers, so all their wealth has gone to somebody else. Their house is being lived in by strangers. They've lost everything, basically. We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Now, Keil and Delitzsch had a comment to say about this verse I want to talk about. Water and wood are mentioned in verse 4 as the greatest necessities of life, without which it is impossible to exist. Both of these they must buy for themselves because the country, with its waters and forests, is in the possession of the enemy. The emphasis lies on our water, our wood. What they formerly had as their own property, for nothing they must now purchase. So this is a big change of fortune and economy, that what they used to have around them all the time anyways is no longer theirs. It's gone. Now they're being forced to pay to have anything, basically. So not a good situation economically. They're already poor, they're already destitute, they've lost their fathers, and now they have to pay for everything that used to be free. Basically, a whole change of societal and economic structures happening. Verse 5, Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest. We have given the hand to the Egyptians and to the Assyrians to be satisfied with bread. So they've tried to get help from other people, basically. Verse 7, Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities. Talking about how the sins, the iniquities have been happening for generations, basically. Verse 8, Servants have ruled over us. There is none that doth deliver us out of their hand. We get our bread with the peril of our lives because of the sword of the wilderness. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. They ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah. So that's sexual assault, rape, those kind of things, which is common when an invading army would come into a place. That's one way they would exert their dominance, is basically having sex with the victims, and especially men against women was a very common way of doing that, to exert their dominance, because the men are dead. Most of the men are dead, so it's only women and children left. So that's how they would exert their dominance, basically. Let's see, verse 12, the princes are hanged up by their hand. The faces of elders were not honored. So they're tortured and killed, basically. Verse 13, they took the young men to grind, and the children fell under the wood. So these are laborers. They're working them to death, basically. They're not feeding them. They're not giving them water. They're just working the people until the people die. Just taking all the value out of them as they can, basically. The elders have ceased from the gate, the young men from their music. So no judgments, no wisdom, no music, no fun, basically, no joy. In fact, verse 15, the joy of our heart has ceased. Our dance is turned into mourning. The crown is fallen from our head. Woe unto us that we have sinned. For this our heart is faint. For these things our eyes are dim. Because of the mountain of Zion, which is desolate, the foxes walk upon it. Thou, O Lord, remainest forever, thy throne from generation to generation. Wherefore dost thou forget us forever and forsake us so long time? Turn thou us unto thee, O Lord, and we shall be turned. Renew our days as of old. but thou hast utterly rejected us. Thou art very wroth against us. So the people are in a bad spot. And if you've gone through our Book of Jeremiah videos, you'll know man, what a bad situation this was for Judah and the people in Jerusalem. So now that the destruction has happened, they're starting to lament, starting to realize they should have followed what God said, which is what Jeremiah was telling them. And so now, hopefully, as they're dealing with their sorrow and their anguish, they're eventually going to come around to repentance, to admit they did wrong, to have remorse about it, to want to change and improve and better their lives. And that's what's going to happen as we get into that's what the point of the exile is, basically, is to do that, to go through and have that destruction, basically. So that's the Book of Lamentations that was written by Jeremiah. It's 5 poems, basically. So now we get into the next book of the next prophet, which is Ezekiel. We'll see you over there.